Hi YouTube. Just a quick video. I think I still have to have supper and I've got a couple other things to do and it's getting kind of late, but I started my day. You probably or might have seen the video of my neighbor's dog. Yeah, I sent the video to them. I haven't heard anything back yet. Doug wanted to be compensated for the food it's been eating, but I thought it was such a beautiful dog. My first dog when I was 4 years old, Goldie, was a golden retriever like that. Somebody poisoned her. We lived in the city and she never even went out of the yard. So somebody did that to her right in our yard. And she died um, underneath. I had this old Victrola, one of them record players you'd wind up from the 1400s. She died underneath there. Then I had another dog die because she got hit by a car on my brother's paper route and she died in my arms. And I must have been about, I'm going to say about 8. Then the first dog I ever knew was my dad's dog, Corky. He was a black lab and he got a broken leg. I don't know how. I was too little to even remember, but he kept chewing the cast off his leg, or not off his leg, but well, yeah, the cast off his leg. And they had to put him down because he wouldn't stop. I don't know if they had them cone things. I'm going to roll some cigarettes while I'm talking to you. That'll save me some time. Um, I was watching ASSC Direct Channel, which deals with oh narcissist abuse and different things like that. And he was talking about people when they envy you and how they'll try to not only self sabotage but sabotage you and that type of thing. And that is so true. And in fact, I know people that watch my Facebook page. They won't like anything or anything, and these are people that I'm related to that I don't know if it's out of hatred or envy. I'm not sure which, maybe some of each. Not sure, but I know they aren't wishing me well, I guess is the main thing. Then I had a really surprising, um, oh, an ex um, drug addict, ex junkie homeless person that now has found God said that if you don't, and he just got married, his second marriage, if you aren't, if you don't have blessings in your life, um, it's probably because you're not obedient. And I was like, okay, that's enough of this crap. I had to write, this is could really be harmful to people. I don't remember. I'm just paraphrasing what I wrote, you know, that God's timing isn't our timing and this could put some people off. And I reshared it because it could put some, it will never put me off. They can't keep me down. That's why they hate me, because they want to see me crumble and fall, and it's just not going to happen. Sure, I have my bad days, but nothing takes God out of my heart, ever, you know. So, um, I thought, God, how can he say these things when it was only like a year or so ago, or maybe a couple years, that he was out on the street like a dead grade, or what would be another word for it? Well, I guess I don't have to call any names. He's out there not giving a shit about people that are obedient. And now he could write something like that towards people of faith, you know. Sure, if it wasn't directed to me, I wouldn't have needed to take any offense. Well, I happen to know that the things that I'm not blessed with right now, like my son being homeless and in drugs on the street, has absolutely nothing. I'm not blessed knowing he's okay. That has nothing to do with my lack of obedience. You know, other women are blessed to have their children in their lives. That's good. And it is good. I wouldn't want it any other way for them, would not wish it any other way for them. But just his words just struck a bad chord with me. So I had to write something, you know. Yeah. Anyway. Yeah, that neighbor with the dog, he told Doug that his wife lets the dogs out, that she's kind of brain dead, like, or he didn't say like that she's kind of brain dead. And I'm told, went out and told Doug, um, he's the one that married her and he's the one that got the dogs. We thought they only had one dog and they have two, so who's brain dead? you know. And if you're watching this, sorry neighbor, for you, you know, for real. It's not your wife that has three little babies, and if she's still working, not sure. But even the three babies is enough work, so maybe y'all deserve each other, and you shouldn't have said that about your wife, you know? Or maybe you want to stay home and let the dogs out, you know? Who let the dogs out? Doesn't matter. Even if it was one of your little kids, there's a leash law. I was nice about it. I could have sent it to the police department. They'd come and pick up the dogs. The EPA, call them, send them all a tape, and there you go. There's your $1,000 dogs gone. You know. But I'm not like that, so I thought I'd try. We've tried talking to them, and to no avail. You know. But anyway, freaking dog was beautiful though. Picked up a dish Doug had put out some of Bob's soft food out on the porch for the kitties, and it just happened to be one of my little dishes that's my china. And so she picked up this dog picked up that little dish, my china. I'm like, hey, you bring that back. She drops it, or I go, I can't remember. It's like, no, you can't have that. And she was really obedient. She came back and she kissed my hand right when I was holding the phone recording her. Kissed my hand, thanked me for the food. She is so sweet. I I felt like keeping her. I felt like letting her in. It's because the familiarity of the dog. And then I had a really beautiful Irish setter that was long haired like that too. Just huge, huge Irish setter. Really, really muscle bound for that breed of dog. I think it had a lot to do with the way I fed him when he was a puppy. Just really good. I would buy that. I didn't have kids. I would buy that dog steak for his birthday, and he was registered. His name was Dandy McBarker. Dandy for short. But yeah, he was a dandy, all right. Wow. Yeah. I'd let him run too, but I mean, I watch him and I couldn't even get out of his sight. One time I was watching him run across the field. I was up on the side of a mountain, um, in a very spacious area, and I watched him, and there was a ditch with water in it, and he was chasing a flock of birds, and he's bounding across this tall grass, and all of a sudden he just disappeared. I'm like, then I seen him come back up and start chasing, but he lost him by then. That was so funny. And another time I had went up on the side of the mountain and I was trying to sneak. I was showing my ex, I go, watch this. So we climbed up to the top of the mountain because Dandy was off goofing. and close to me. But he didn't know that I had walked off. See, so this is what I did. And this freaked him out. If he lost me, he'd just totally freak because I had to leave him one time to go out west and come back and get him and put him on a train with me in a dog crate. Um, that was another story. That train ride with that dog, very long. Um, we got caught in the snow. Well, anyway, so we went up on the side of the mountain and we worked at this resort and we watched Danny go across the bridge looking for me. He got caught my scent and he zigzagged up the mountain and we're watching him and pretty soon he's just right there and he's laughing. He was so freaking happy he found me. I go, what were you doing over there all by yourself? He hangs his head. So he was so cool. I could throw like an apple. I go, you want to catch it or eat it? And he'd lick his lips. He'd catch it, chew it once, and it was gone. So just funny. Or I'd set it on the table and I'd say, do you want that? And he'd shake his head, yes. And I go, pick it up, but don't chew it. So he'd pick it up. I go, put it back down. He'd put it back down. I go, now you can have it. And he'd take it. That was because I had company over one time and I had made sandwiches out of a roast of venison. And one of my ex's cousin was holding his sandwich like this and he was talking and Danny came up behind him and snagged that sandwich right out of his hand. I'm like, oh no, that's naughty. So I had to teach him some manners and he was younger then. But I taught him how to open the door and let himself in and out. And, if I went somewhere like to work, I would have to lock him in. But while I was there, he could go in and out at his own discretion in the yard. So, yeah, it was really smart dog. Super smart. He saved me one time. I was sleeping after work and a guy tried climbing in my window. It was a renter, but Dandy seen that window come open and he bit the dude's arm, you know. I said, why didn't you just knock on the door? He said, well, I didn't think anybody was home. I said, I, there, we didn't even lock the house. The house was not locked. The guy wasn't very, talk about brain dead. Jeez. He didn't hurt him too bad, but it would have been worse if he had gotten in there. And I told him, you're really lucky you didn't get in there because that dog seen me get hit one time and he tried to take the guy out. So, yeah. But he did end up getting his tooth split here, his gum, um, and his, right under his teeth, there was a slice. There's one in mine too. When my mom hit me one time when I was little, she knocked my teeth through my mouth. But, and I wasn't even sassing back or nothing. This woman was just something else. Not not a mom. Like moms are moms. Moms might beat your butt, and it'll hurt. Like I would spank my kids. I can count the few times I did, and it was heartbreaking. No, it wasn't heartbreaking like that. She like kicked me across the basement and beat the shit out of me. Things my dad actually didn't see. So if he did things to me too, well, she'd usually see them, and I can't prove that she like put her energies into that type of thing happening to me, but I believe that's a lot of what it was. So, yeah. Anyway, long time ago. But yeah, so it's been quite a day. Oh, I made some wonderful bean soup I'm going to have in a while here. Some bean and bacon, just a little bit of bacon in tiny pieces for flavor. Fried it up really good and put some onion and great northern beans and got that cooking and had some I had to use canned veggies because I didn't have fresh stuff, but some sliced potatoes that I diced up and carrots, and so it's going to be really delicious. So, yeah, I made a huge mistake with my diet last night. Oh, and I suffered for it all night long. Excuse me. Don't buy a pie from Walmart. Oh, it was terrible. I had some pumpkin pie, and after I was eating it, I told Doug, do you know this says sugar free? And then I started reading what was in it, polysorbate, which is basically turns into plastic. And the first ingredient was cornstarch. I couldn't even find pumpkin. And the crust was like underdone, and I thought it was going to be okay. And I put some Cool Whip on it, and I shouldn't have ate it. I should have just spit it out and threw it away, you know. But I didn't, and I ate it, so I suffered all night long for it. And I'm not supposed to have cornstarch, and some of the spices like nutmeg and cinnamon I'm allergic to, so it's like, well, even cloves. But if I make my own pumpkin pie, I do put a lot of spice in it, and I do love it. But I think it's even probably healthier for me because at least I would know what was in the thing, you know. I really didn't even see pumpkin on the label aside from on the front of where the pie said pumpkin pie, but it didn't really taste like one. It's bad. We'll talk about indigestion. Actually, my whole body had indigestion from that thing, you know. So I have indigestion of the world right now, you know. Yeah. Well, I'm gonna cut this off. I just wanted to make you aware that, you know, there's a lot of people in the world, they'll try and stop you and bring you down, even under the guise of being a Christian. And why discourage another Christian? I mean, even if they only have a little bit of faith, we do have to be really, really careful not to let that diminish. Don't try and smother the light in another human being, you know. I mean, if you're talking to demons, that's a little bit different. But your average human being reading that post that I had read, just as that wasn't cool at all, you know. And I like the guy, I really do. Um, and his new wife, I knew his ex girlfriend quite well for um, probably 6 years online before I even knew him, you know. So I mean, I wish him the best and everything. And she looks like a doll. She really does. She's got the sparkliest eyes. And I would say, um, if he's pretending to have God in his heart, maybe it'll work because it's certainly you can see it in her smile and in her eyes, you know. And she looks like she is blessed in her life, and that's a good thing. He's I think he's doing good in his life because of her, is what I'm trying to say. I don't know if he's using her, and I knew there was a lot of times he was kind of phony and funky with my friend. So we'll just see how it goes from there, you know what I mean? Yeah, you never know. So, all right, everybody, have a wonderful night or day wherever you're at. And yeah, I'll just leave it there. I was going to say something to the neighbor again. I don't know if he's even going to watch the one that I sent him. And, but they really should take it serious because legally we could do something and we don't want to do that, you know. So, anyway, peace and love from Pine City, Minnesota, USA.